Hey, good morning, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us here again on Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show. I'm Trish Williams.
And I'm Tiana Carroll. And we are here to talk about all of the new happenings in the news relating to real estate here in Las Vegas. We will be your source for all information.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have just a lot of news headlines to touch today. We're going to be a little all over the place, but it all ties into one, right?
Yeah. Well, it's all real estate. It's all relative. And I think it's a good indicator with there being such a variety of headlines coming out now. It's no longer so much like it's crashing, interest rates are going up. It's crashing, interest rates are going up. Okay, we've heard it. We've been dealing with it now for months. Back in June, you had said, like, we talked about, is it going to crash? And you were like, no, it might just be, it's going to be a correction, and I don't see it going more than 20%. And apparently now nationally, all the economists are with you. Overall, nationally, they're expecting 5%.
Yeah.
And some areas that, of course, had the most amount of growth, which would be like the southeast area and then the Mountain West, they're the ones who really sort of got the most inflated prices because of the growth. They're expected to be hit the hardest when it corrects, but they don't expect it to go down more than 15 to 20%. So look at you, like an economist.
I know. That's my psychic abilities at work. It has nothing to do with economists.
Right. You're like, I just feel the energy.
What is happening with housing? Before we get started, numbers, I want to do a personal plug, just as someone near and dear to my heart. And there is an entertainment company out there, Pompeii Entertainment. They've been voted Best of Las Vegas on a couple of their venues. So Pharrell Dillon, comedy magician at Bally's, and Lia's is another show that they have there. They're under the topic of bachelorette party venue, and Duomo, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Duomo at the Rio. They're in several different categories for rock venue, for a what is it? 80s show. It's like an 80s type show.
Okay, fun.
There's a name under the topic there, so I can't remember what the name was. But if you go on Best of Las Vegas under entertainment, click on them, vote for them. They're local. They grew up here in the community, so support Vegas, guys. Support our locals here. So
yep, we are big fans of community and local. So. And now we've got the Best of Las Vegas that happens every year.
Yes.
And send all of your friends to go vote for the best, because that's how people who didn't grow up here know what's up.
Yeah, know where to go and what to do and things like that. So, just a little plug for them. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I do have links posted on Facebook.
Nice.
And let's get into numbers today.
Okay, like always, we're going to start with our numbers. So, inching up again, like we've seen every week, just a little more going up. So we got 7,679 in our single-family home residence, and we are having those price corrections, as I'm now referring to them, as 1,836 happening this week. So you're seeing that too, right?
Absolutely. And with it inching up, I am seeing right now a little bit of steady activity. So
same.
I feel, here's my predictions again, right?
Okay, wait. Let's tap into the energy gods.
Where's
what
my
do you got?
crystal ball?
Okay, what do you got, girl?
I feel that this is where we're going to be. I don't think it's going to get too much more than this. I don't think we're going to break that 8,000 mark in inventory. I think this is our correction right here, and this is where we're going to stay somewhere around here for a while. It might stay a little stagnant, but I really don't see us having like too much more of an increase from where we're at right now in inventory.
Right. And so a lot of stuff that I listen to, other podcasts, news sources, things that I've read all week sort of agree with exactly what you're saying, that we're not going to have the same sort of issues that we had in the Great Recession, if you will, because of the factors are so much different. And one of the factors that kept coming up this week, and it seemed to be across everybody's information source, was the fact that we're not going to have this influx of inventory that contributed to the last great recession housing issue that we had in 2006, 2008.
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we've talked about it several times, that there is equity in these homes.
Yeah. So the inventory before was foreclosures and
Right.
short sales. People that couldn't make their payments. And again, this is over these past couple years, this buyer's activity that there was, people were throwing a lot of cash down on those homes. They're not going to not make payments.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then a lot of this week when I was out touring with some of my investors who are coming in, and they're looking for a bunch of long-term properties and whatever, and when I was running comps for the numbers and I was talking to the neighbors and stuff, those rent high prices, even on an investor standpoint, are still very solid. So they're still able to make their margins and stuff, even as the market sort of corrects itself. Now, I'm seeing a lot of, at least in my personal business, I'm seeing a lot less flippers because of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, flippers put so much money, they put so much money into the project. And a lot of times, we all think of them as cash buyers, but a lot of times they're not really cash buyers. They're
Right.
buying with these hard money loans, these cash loans. And they have a lot on the line if it doesn't turn around quickly. And we're back into, and this is something that I'm trying to tell sellers right now a lot, we're in a 60 to 90 day market.
Right.
So we're in a spot where if it's priced right, it likely will sell, but within 60 to 90 days, not 30. That is a lot longer term and a lot higher risk and a lot higher cost for these flippers to carry that note.
Right, exactly. It wasn't the feeding frenzy where they just came in and they just, like, oh, we don't need FHA 30 days in. Let's just flip it, sell it, and be done with it. So we're seeing a lot of those sort of transactions falling by the wayside, and I'm getting a lot more owner-occupied, second home, or long-term rentals that are investors looking for long-term rentals that are on the market right now.
Yeah, and I'm loving that. I'm loving seeing homeowners get into homes again. So
Yeah. It's so refreshing to hand keys to them, and they're so excited. And I loved even the shopping process over the past 6-8 weeks, where we get to go out and they get to have options and they get to choose what they love, and they're all very excited. So yay, I'm happy for them.
Yes, me too. And one thing that I'm worried, I spoke to this, or I had said this with someone I was talking to, a buyer over the last week, and they didn't like my explanation. So sometimes the truth hurts.
I was just gonna say that.
But I was telling them that I feel like this window is closing. And I've been talking about it over the last couple of weeks. I know you have too. This opportunity window where the buyers are just like kind of coming in with these, they'll low offer, they'll ask for all the closing costs, they'll ask for everything, and the sellers say yes because they're fearful of what's going to happen.
Right.
I think that is not that it's going away. We're still there where you can get more concessions, and it is very good to be a buyer in this market. But I feel like it's starting to close up a little bit because we're starting to settle and understand the market that we're in right now.
Yeah, I have to agree. So this week, particularly, any offers that I wrote at list price got accepted. But during that, I, worked my magic and asked for concessions and helped my buyers out in other ways, except for list price. And then the ones that I wrote under list price, even if they didn't have concessions, didn't get accepted.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so the sellers are now in tune to what's happening.
Yeah.
And as long as they're priced right, they know that they can get that market value.
Yes.
And then they are willing to, however, make concessions and stuff, even if the list price is the shiny object that they're reaching for.
Absolutely. So I do think that things are getting a little more realistic. And again, there was this big buyer window opportunity while everybody was scared and uncertain.
Right.
And now they're starting to be like, okay, this is what's happening. Now we know the formula.
Yeah.
And that's all it is it just takes, we need 30, 60 days to figure out that formula.
Right. And it's just, it all comes back to my favorite buzzword this fall will be correction. And it all comes back to the correction. We did get a little out of hand, and yes, those overappraised values, when people were just dropping cash to get anything, changed a little bit, but now, everything's working itself out.
Yep. Over the last couple of years, the last really good down payment assistance program that we had was back in 2020, right before everything went chaotic, before the world turned upside down, right? Back in 2020, we had the HOPE program, which was amazing. That was one of the best down payment assistance programs ever. It was like low rate, $20,000. You don't have to pay it back. FHA loan. That was an amazing program. They pulled it right in March 2020 because of whatever happened with the market. We haven't seen a really good one since. Home is Possible is still around. They're good, but
yeah. So listen, if you need down payment assistance program, it's a benefit to have.
Yes.
So usually, I mean, HOPE is the exception, but usually you don't get anything for free.
This
so
is true.
if you're going to do the down payment assistance, there's ways that companies are going to make money off of that because there's lender fees and they're going to take a percentage, and the interest rate is what always killed me with down payment assistance.
Yes.
I'm like, if you have the credit and you can come up with the down payment, do it yourself because you're going to save money in the long run with that. But if you need the down payment assistance, absolutely use it. It's there. It is a resource to help people. So
absolutely.
But it's not.
And that's what it's there for.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So we have the new rural DPA program that is happening in Nevada here.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't really affect us here in Clark County because we're not one of the counties named because we're not rural.
Yes.
We're urban. Welcome to Vegas.
It's sad when I first seen it because I know that there is a rural program out there that is like home. It's not Home is Possible, but something that sounds like Home is Nevada or something.
Yeah, Nevada. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Home is Nevada is right.
Is that right? Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
State song, but you know, something like that.
Something like that. But that program is, even though it's rural, some parts of North Las Vegas are in it, and even some parts of Whitney, which is odd. But
yeah, well, and even some parts of Whitney, unincorporated Las Vegas, they are considered because there's still a lot of zoned county.
Right.
So as long as you don't have, not all areas, but no sidewalks, no street lights, you get zoned county, you still can access those rural funds
or
which
programs.
Is nice.
But this one does not, because this is county specific, and Clark County was not mentioned. So,
not even on the list.
Not even on the list.
There was counties in Nevada that they named that I didn't even know we had. I was like, oh, where's that? I'm just kidding, Northern Nevada. Don't get on me. It's a joke.
I really didn't know about some of them. I was like, what?
You're like,
who lives there?
There's 7 people that live there.
Yeah.
They love that county.
There's people.
It's named after their dog.
Yeah, right. So they're taking applications. Pahrump is the closest we have to here that would qualify for this. Mesquite, too. Mesquite's pretty close.
Yeah, our outer edges.
Yeah. So it's a $10,000 down payment assistant grant, which goes on as like a silent second. You have to stay the term.
Grant. I'm a big fan of a grant.
Absolutely. So they're taking applications for this. We'll have the application link posted on the website. So if this is something that you're interested in, call Tiana or I. We can definitely lead you in the right direction, answer all your questions, find out, research. If we don't know the answers, this is always the thing that I just tell everybody over and over again. I don't know the answers to every question, but I will find out the answers for you. So, so definitely reach out to us, and we can help direct you. But that's Pahrump. Pahrump is growing. I was out there last weekend. I'm loving, like, the city really is growing. They start First Fridays out there.
Did they?
In the little, like, artesian or Artesia winery that they have out there. Yeah. So they're implementing it coming up here soon. So even if you just want to take a little day trip out there, it's cute. It's not anything like Vegas, but it is, there's things happening there. I'm liking it.
Yeah, and that all goes back to the type of lifestyle you want to live, right? So more and more as the city grows, people who have horses or that more agricultural life, they are moving out of the Tule Springs Centennial area and moving out to Pahrump. And with that Blue Diamond Loop and the city building out so far, I mean, I think it's 40 minutes from Pahrump to our Summerlin office.
Oh yeah,
it's quick. I mean, it's quick now.
If
20
you're
years
Mountains
ago, it
Edge.
would've- Mountains Edge, all of that.
Yeah.
Blue Diamond area is more accessible. So you do have that. And I've had a lot of clients who have, gone out there, they want land or they want well or they want septic or, things that we don't have a lot of in the Valley. I mean, we obviously have some of it, but not a lot. And it goes back to lifestyle.
And small town feel, if you want that. I was talking to people that live out there, and it's like everybody knows everybody.
Right.
It's in that like small town thing vibe that we used to have that here. We're getting less and less of that.
I was going to say, we're still a pretty small town. I'm always shocked. I ran into people, not last week, but the week before that I hadn't seen in forever, especially with the pandemic fuzzing up my brain. I'm like, do I even remember you? But, and I'm just like, man, I do remember how Vegas had that small town feel for such a long time. But I don't know. I think if you've been here long enough, it always sort of feels like a small town and home.
Yeah.
It's the people who are coming in who are just, secluded to their one area. I mean, I live in the Southwest. I live in the Northwest, Southeast, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Vegas does have, the locals all kind of came somewhere branched from the same group somehow.
Yeah. We must all vibe on the same level. We're like, yeah, this is our people.
Yeah.
I love our people.
One more thing about Pahrump is the cell phone signal driving out there now I had bars the entire drive. I was so excited because usually you have that like 20 minutes where there's no bars.
Hump.
Yeah.
The hump where you're like, okay, if my car broke down, how would I handle that?
Right.
Just let me get it serviced.
They have improved that, and they've opened the road. It's a nicer drive, so good deal.
Well, they need to do all of that for the growth because as our city does grow, that is going to be the suburb now.
Right.
Which is crazy. Parump's the suburb of Vegas, but it's going to happen.
Who'd have thought?
It's just the way life is, right? Growth, movement, we're good at it here.
Yeah. So let's talk about Barbie.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So Tiana's like a real life Barbie. I don't know if you've ever met her in real life, but she's like super tall, blonde. She's like Barbie was invented after her.
This is all of a sudden becoming my favorite show. No, Trish, don't say that. What? Okay, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, so I am sort of a tomboy wrapped up in a very girly facade. So when I read this article, I was completely obsessed because I love it. So the article was through Realtor.com, and it was talking about trends in homes, and one of them was that the Barbie home decor is all about in.
Oh my gosh, I seen it and I was like, no, this is gonna be like that. Your home is so 2022.
My home is so it's very, very dated, right? Like every other trend, you like get it for like a decade or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think because the term millennial pink that came into effect, and it was like everybody's wearing pink and
But
everybody.
it's
that blush color.
1990s pink, right?
Right. Well, okay, so they just weren't around in the 90s, so they didn't know. They took it to themselves and said, hey, we're millennial pink. Oh, okay.
I'm like, it's not yours. Stop taking it from us.
But it kind of is. It is the color of the generation, and I kind of love that for them. And they are going to be our biggest buying pool. Matter of fact, sort of off track of this Barbie home decor, and I want to circle back around to this, but the millennials are going to be the majority of our buyers. And then when I got into the statistics of it, over 50% of millennial buyers are single women. And only about 30% are millennial couples. And then, the men make up the remainder.
Yes.
So I think that sort of is going to fuel this sort of home decor, single women buying their home, and they're making it as girly and over the top and fun as they want it to be. And hello, guilty, I did it myself. My bathroom and my kitchen are blush and copper.
And I've never heard of the term catio till you said it.
I do. Okay, so yeah, I have cats. Thanks for letting everybody know I'm a crazy cat lady. Okay, so that's who I am. So I did. It was important for me because of their lifespan, right? I think an outdoor cat has a 7 to 9 year lifespan, but an indoor cat's hitting 20 years. I'm like, you guys are an investment. We're sticking around, family. So I make sure that every place I live has a catio, so when they go, they have direct access in and out of the house. And, you know, and I have one female cat who's totally girly girl. And because of the home color decor, she has her pink bowl and her pink bed. So good for her.
Good.
Spoiled, living her best Barbie dream home life.
Good for her. You know, the other trend, speaking of millennials, trends, dream homes, all of these things that we're seeing with millennials, and I'm sure single women or, you know, anybody, is pets. Pet showers. Those little dog showers are a huge trend right now. They're trending. They're starting. We're starting to see more people looking for a space for that.
Right.
So sometimes it's just as much as a linen closet that they can. That's near enough to the bathroom that they can convert into this little doggy shower.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So my mom's generation was all about playing house and dolls and having babies, and I can't wait to get married and have babies. Well, that's just not the modern mindset of a woman now. They want their career. They want to be equal on everything. They want to buy their own home. They're very independent. And so the settling down and having children isn't at top of mind for them. And they're sort of supplementing that emotional fulfillment with animals. And these animals, I'm guilty right here, guilty of it myself, start to become their supplemental child, and they do. I've seen plenty of homes where I go and the understairs storage room is a little dog room with a little TV and a little banquette for them to sit at and their food bowl and their water, and it's cute. And I go into other homes and instead of just cat trees sitting in the corner, they've built full-on wall installations with cubbies and bridges and little hammocks for them to lay on, and it's very much a home trend, and I'm seeing it more and more, I'd say, over the past like 4 or 5 years. Spaces inside the home. It's no longer, we need a yard for the dog. And I sold a townhome to a girl who loves guinea pigs. She's got like 9 of them.
Wow.
And the entire room is fenced off with a little, 1.5-foot fence. And these little guinea pigs have these tunnels and stuff that they go in. It's just cute. Live your life. Be happy.
Be happy. That's why you have a home. So you can do whatever you want with your home.
That's right. So renters, you don't get a guinea pig room. Buyers get that. So
I don't think it passed the pet application process.
Right.
On a rental.
And that's another thing with pets. They like limit you, like a lot of, specifically in our valley, it's really, really, really hard to find a rental if you have more than 2 cats.
Or if you have a pet over 20 pounds.
Oh, yeah, which is crazy because my dogs are big boys.
Yeah.
Big, big, big boys.
Yeah, that is, that's definitely, I've had some people reach out to me where it's like, that is a struggle. And I'm like, let's get on the process to buying, because we're not going to be able to go. You either have to rehome the pets, which no one wants to do. That's their family.
Yeah,
right?
no, they do become a part of your life. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's get on track of getting them a home, because it's not just your home anymore. It's for them too.
Right, that's going to be my new buyer consultation. So we're not really getting a home for you. Think of your pet. They need a space.
Right.
And then you can go ahead and put in pink tile because it's very on trend. So on the Barbie home decor, the counterpart of that, a big design trend that I'm seeing in a lot of designs, model homes, things like that, is the return of cognac.
What? The alcohol?
God, I wish. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? Are we doing shots now?
Yes, we're shot o'clock when we need it. Yes,
the market
let's do
does suck. So.
No, the market doesn't suck.
It does not.
The color cognac, that sort of warm, deep brown with the gold undertone, is really making its way.
I love that color.
A lot of people do, and it's a great neutral.
Yeah.
And so a lot of dark homes that I'm seeing, especially model homes where they're going real moody with the dark grays and the dark blues and whatever, they're adding in that cognac. And then on the flip side, you have that sort of bohemian, fresh nature look, which is all natural woods, light, white colors, creams, and then those pops of pink.
Yeah. I'm gonna have such a hard time with that. I struggle with color, so like I'm a very like monochrome type of person. So I'll have to be forced to add color to my home.
Yeah, so I'm incredibly colorful. You'll rarely see me like in just a black dress or something. It's usually a color or a print, or the same thing with my home. There's nothing minimal. Well, I guess it is minimalist because I'm all about neat and clean. Everything needs to be in a cupboard, hidden, have a spot. But I do love bright colors and being a little offbeat. Like right now, everything is pink and copper, and in 7-10 years, I'll change it and I'll be perfectly fine with that. Well, I'll probably sell it and then get a new place, but yeah.
Wonderful. Let's get into, and gosh, we have a lot, but let's kind of blow through the rest of this here. So,
Okay.
Short-term rental, there's outrage, and we've been talking about this a lot, so we don't need to like go too deep into this, but obviously when they allowed the short-term rentals, they're like, yeah, we're going to allow it, but there's going to be rules. And of course, I was like, those rules are going to be the stickler. Well, turns out they are.
Well, yeah, that was exactly it. When they first, okay, so rewind. We have a show about Airbnb. You can go back and download that if you haven't heard it yet. And then prior to that, Airbnb came into the Valley. And then hospitality went, whoa, this is our turf, man. You don't get to come play over here. And so then it was shut down. Then people were running these sort of short-term rentals illegally, and they were getting fined, which was making money. So, we love when that revenue comes in. Thanks for breaking the law.
Yes.
And then they're like, okay, we'll give you short-term rentals, but we're going to put 100,000 restrictions on them, and you won't be able to get them. And even the fact that we had over 10,000 illegally run short-term rentals versus 2,000 possibly potential licenses available, that shows you the discrepancy, right?
Right. And now since you have a laundry list of restrictions and violations, they also come along with $10,000 fines or jail. They're threatening prison time on some of these. So it's like, wow, this is crazy.
Like, just take my money.
Yeah, homeowners are outraged. The people that are, and I was reading the article, some have been operating short-term rentals for quite some time.
Right.
And now they're like, hey, I can't do this anymore. What's wrong with you? Why are you ruining my life? And they want to sue.
Right.
Yeah, so they're suing the county. They're suing
Good luck with that,
roll
guys.
back on the restrictions. Let's see how this plays out, but it's a big deal. It is a
They're
big
saying
deal.
it's an unconstitutional violation of their rights.
Of their homeowner rights,
right.
yeah.
So that'll be for the courts to decide if it is or not. But I think the root of the matter is we are based in hospitality in Las Vegas, and it's a huge factor of our economy.
Yeah.
And so I'm all for people having small businesses and side hustles and living your best life. But when you're in an area that has those restrictions, you do have to follow the rules, and they're not making it easy. I mean, one of the articles that we had was about the gentleman with the septic tank, and he had an Airbnb, and he was just so surprised that they were shutting him down and not giving him his license. Well, it's right there in the restrictions that you can't be on septic. You need to be hooked up to city water in order to operate that.
City water and sewer, which he said the cost were over $300,000 to tie into. So, yeah, I don't think you see the return on investment there.
Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it.
Not worth it. Drought talk. So this one again, we're just going to kind of blow through the rest of these, but this one, we're going to be doing a whole episode on this soon, so we're not going to get too far into this.
Yeah, I've really been keeping my eye on it because to me it's so interesting. It's such an imperative thing to have water, right? You can't live without it.
Right.
Necessity, air, water, and then food.
This article itself outraged me because they were saying, get out of Vegas, it's drying up. It was like, who wrote this? It was horrible.
Clickbait, buzzworthy, they're really, yes, the water levels are down, but I have to say about the past, 4 or 5 weeks, I've been really diving deep into just our Southern Nevada Water District and how they operate things and how much water they actually have and how we're able to recycle anything that goes down a drain and where the big water wasters are and not and stuff. And they're doing everything they can. And I don't know, did I talk to you about the project that they're doing in Mexico?
No.
Okay, so Mexico has some water rights to Lake Mead, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a station where they can convert salty ocean water into usable water
yes.
in Mexico.
I knew about that.
And so Southern Nevada Water District is going in and helping fund that program in return for Mexico's water rights to Lake Mead, which would then open up more to us. Because in Nevada, we have a very small amount of those water rights to Lake Mead. Everybody assumes because the basin starts in Nevada.
That's all ours.
That it's ours. But California and Arizona and even Mexico have so much more right to that water than we do.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a lot there. But good news, let's talk about the good part is we've been raining like crazy, and since October 1st.
Yeah, our rain this year was so good.
Yes.
I mean, the humidity, I could do without the humidity, but getting the rain, smelling the rain, the sound of the rain, just how beautiful the desert looks when all the wildflowers come out after the rain. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Yes, so that has raised our lake 3 feet, approximately 3 feet since August 1st.
Right.
And they've raised the on-ramp for where boats get dropped off at Lake Mead over it. So that's awesome.
The launch.
Yep,
the boat launch.
And then finally, let's talk. They created a new vocabulary word. Thank you, news media.
I thought I was the only one that made up words. They do it too in the news.
I do it all the time.
Maybe
I didn't know that it was acceptable, but I'm going to start doing this more often. So housing recession was not a word. It is now. It's a buzzword.
It's a buzzword. It's meant for clickbait. It's been all over. Now we're in a housing recession. I think CNBC was the one who really started going, now that we're in a housing recession. What's a housing recession?
So some economist was like, wait, what is this? We've never heard of this.
Is that a real word?
This is not a word that was used before. This isn't even like one of those 2008 words. That wasn't. Housing recession is a new term. And they're talking about it deeping and all of these different things. And they're just, creating new vocabulary for us. Thank you. So apparently, it basically what this means is that we're slowing down in activity, which we knew. I think correction is a much better word for
I love correction. I love correction.
But housing recession gets a lot more buzz, gets a lot more click, gets a lot more fear, right? Because they want you to fear this.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly it. It's all about the reaction.
Right.
The reaction. And so I don't know that housing recession is the right word that I would use for what is happening, because I'm not seeing that at all in the market, and the factors are so much different now than when the actual recession happened. So, and in reality, a recession is only just 2 quarters of a downturn, so it's not as detrimental to you could go 8 quarters, that would suck, but
it's a scary sounding word, and usually recession applies to just everything altogether, not just a specific sector. That's why this housing recession term is different than what we're used to hearing.
They're taking in the full economy when it comes to that, and every sector contributing to it. But everybody's talking. The real estate has been so, lack of a better word, vibrant over the past few years. It's been this unprecedented roller coaster. We've all worked our way and navigated through it and figured out what it was, but we've never seen anything like it, from interest rates to the houses flying off the shelf, the feeding frenzy, the exodus, everybody working from home and now wanting to be in warm climates. So it's just been a wild ride the past few years. And I think that they're just trying to do anything they can to get attention. So it's like, look at me, I have a new word. It's called housing recession.
How can I make this more creative to make you click on it?
Right,
so
exactly. Excellent marketing, CNBC. Or no, it wasn't CNBC.
It started with CNBC,
yeah.
Apparently, and then now everybody's just jumped in and using the word. So that's everyone's new favorite word. Appraiser. I spoke with an appraiser recently, which is going to be on our show in the near future.
Very
I'm excited to have him here. So I was talking to him a lot about appraisers are numbers people, so they hardly ever talk.
Yeah, they're very analytical.
Yeah, very hard to get conversation out of them. But this one was talkative. So we actually had a conversation about what's going on, with the market and what's happening. So interesting fact was that he said that the month-over-month appreciation since December of last year is about 1 to 1.5% per month.
Okay.
So right now, when everybody's talking about our prices dropping, by the numbers, they are not dropping. They're just not moving.
Right.
So he said, like you could do the math yourself to see where we're at, and figuring out prices, but it's not, we're not actually dropping, which again, we've talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
It's more of a correction of like, where we were. We have to cycle back maybe a couple months, but we still haven't like had a substantial decrease. We're not in a free fall.
Yeah, we don't officially have August numbers yet because
we'll have those by next week.
Right. Yeah. Next week we'll talk all about August numbers, but those come out this afternoon. We'll have the official numbers that we can really take a look at what has been happening. But I think because things were so out of control and it was the Wild West, one house would sell for $500, so then the next house sold for $530. That was a substantial jump, house over house. Now that the houses are not changing in price, you'll go to a community and there might be 2 houses in that community and they're priced relatively the same. Not one was put on the market last week for $600 and now one's on the market for $650.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, if you cycle back kind of through that when you're looking at comps, and just kind of look at it that way of this wasn't supposed to go up 30,000 between this comp and this comp,
right.
And then do the adjustment. I'm sure we can come to a price where the market would agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the market always decides itself. That
exactly.
is one strong beast. Nobody's fooling with the market. A little bit with the California exodus with the cash over appraised value, but nobody's really taking control and dominating it. It's sort of a life force of its own.
Absolutely. So Tiana,
yes,
how do people reach you?
Anybody can call me or text me, 702-379-9948.
Like, comment, share, tell your friends about our show. Keep watching. We have some great stuff coming up. This month we're going to have it's Wellness September. Is that right? September or
self-care or wellness month, something to that.
September.
Yeah.
Self-care September.
So it should be a fun month.
Yeah.
And if you can't get a hold of me, they can always get a hold of you. How do they get a hold of you, Trish?
702-308-2878. Best way to call me or text me, and then keep tuning in. We're going to have 2 community spotlights this month for our Wellness Month, and we are
really
going to see you next week.
Yep. All right, you guys have a good week, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.